Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation. My name is Martin Berzins, and I'm working as a head of digital channels for Citadele Bank. So today, so the first issues was So today I wanted to talk about the changes in Etail and Retail. Hopefully we will get the clicker back. No, it's still not working. So let me just jump from my computer and do the presentation from here. Okay, so usually this presentation, what I'm doing is taking approximately an hour, and it has been really challenging because the organizers told me that it should be like within a range of 20 minutes. And besides that, I know that you are also going to have some lottery, and I'm actually one who is wrapping up this whole thing. So without further ado, I think that one of the main things which we should think when we are talking about some innovations and about stuff which is happening around us is that not everything is a future. And in many situations, actually, what is kind of new or we are expecting to see some of the things in the future are happening around already. So I thought that it would be great to run a couple of videos at the beginning just to show you where actually we see where the society and everything around us is going to move in the next few upcoming years. Oh, sorry.
Four years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
Okay, as you can see, some of these shops are already up and running, and we are not talking only about the shops which are available in US. I think that these kind of technologies are also really, really kind of nicely used also in Asia, where the people are even more using different forms of checkout and biometric. So, but if we jump and go further, I think that one thing is that when we are visiting the store physically, but there is also options to, and clicker is back, and
You're okay. He's okay. He made
also
it.
using
Jason,
a digital assistant.
We were very bad boys.
Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's the news.
Alec Baldwin and Jason Schwartzman were seen mooning paparazzi. Baldwin grew his shoe at photographers before making a run for it.
My poor cashmere socks. Alexa, reorder another pair of Brescianis.
Reordering Bresciani socks.
Okay, listen, can you send some lawyers or something?
Okay.
Alex.
So, did you notice how Alex chose the credit card with which he is going to pay, or how the whole purchasing process happened? It was just very, very simple. He just said to the digital assistant, let's order another pair of Brasciani socks. So, as we can see, future is really based on remote identification. And we as a bank, we are also very, very actively working on these kind of technologies together with some of our partners. And I will take some of the insights further on in my slides. So before going into the applications and maybe what is going to happen in the nearest future, I thought it would be great to take a look what is happening actually from our as a bank's perspective. And today we clearly see that actually 96% of all the payments are happening via digital channels. And actually the biggest change lately for the last year has been the growth of the payments via mobile application. So when we kind of look what is going to happen with e-commerce market, the analysts are clearly showing that there is forecasted growth for at least 22% in the Baltics for next 3 years, as people are changing the habits. And if you are looking at our data about the mobile application usage for different purposes, we clearly see that within a year, the growth is almost 2.5 times comparing the previous year. So another very, very interesting aspect is that if we are looking on the aspect how fast the payments are delivered, I would say that it is very, very obvious, at least in Latvia, that in last year, the most of the payments became executed as fast SEPA payments. So we are having the possibility to really initiate the payment, and receiver will receive the money on his or her account in a few seconds. So it actually means that it doesn't really matter in which bank I do have opened the account, but the process itself is happening faster and faster. I think another very interesting aspect what is changing and what is also coming in retail is actually payments with contactless cards and contactless devices in general. So currently the market POS systems are reaching around 65% of the terminals which are having this contactless payment possibility. And one interesting fact is that already the replacement of these contactless cards have reached more than half. So we clearly see that the contactless is coming more and more into the everyday life of the customers. And what is also very, very interesting fact, which we can see from also this next slide, is that this is really changing not just in the Baltics, but this is European directive which puts us in a situation that basically everywhere you can use the same payment cards or contactless technology. So talking about the numbers, this technology has been already around since 2017. We clearly see also very significant growth in contactless payments. So at the moment, I would say more than 25% of all the purchases using the cards are happening using this particular technology. And I was talking about the cards, but besides the cards, you also probably have heard about the possibility to pay with the phones. So using the Android phone, you can do the very similar purchases, and this is actually to customers allowing to go with the purchases with higher limits, as this technology is kind of a little bit more secure. But besides that, we are experimenting and seeing really big success by introducing also the stickers and the bracelets, which are actually very, very popular during the summertime and the summer season. And with that, I think also in previous slides you saw that one of the ideas or the customers what are saying is that actually they are becoming really disappointed if they are not having possibility to pay with that technology. And idea is that as all the technology is kind of becoming available 24/7 and our rhythm of life is increasing all the time, we want to perform every transaction faster. And also what we see from the pools, people are ready to do and experiment with different innovations in case they are getting things done much faster. Okay, that was about the numbers. Now I wanted to talk with the next slides about some of the ideas what could be used and where we clearly are going ahead with our partners. So POS is not that new technology, and everyone thinks that there is nothing what could bring us slightly further. However, we believe that actually the next step is going into two different directions. If we talk about really big retailers, we are seeing the possibility to really merge the data and put the receipts into the cloud. But for that, we need to talk with state revenue services, and this is what is currently happening. So we are working to really get some of these innovations through and be capable of moving away from the really older cash registers. Second thing, which is also happening, is that when we talk about smaller retailers or small companies, not always there is a need to have a point of sale system as such, as a separate device. And the technology which we call PIN on a glass is technology which allows you to use your own mobile phone, connect it with like small device which is attached to the phone, and this allows phone to become the point of sales system. The third item, which I think is not really noticed by some of the retail companies, or even I would say also the e-commerce companies as well, is so-called DCC technology, which is dynamic currency conversion. And this is probably interesting for those merchants who see that their customers are doing the purchases with the cards coming from abroad and in different currencies. And with this particular technology, you are actually capable of showing the money which would be paid by the customer in his local currency. And if doing so, this is really the final amount of money which customer is going to pay. And also you as a merchant, you are receiving the commission for executing this currency exchange. Then I would like to show one interesting function on our application. I don't know, it's not opening right away. Okay, so when starting the new payment, we have created a solution which allows customers to scan the barcodes on the invoices they are receiving. And by doing that, we are actually capable of really putting immediately in the payment order all the details about the account number to which the payment needs to happen, the invoice number, and the amount of money. So, and this also allows customer to really quickly do the payments in case he's receiving the invoice, and could be applied in really different scenarios. So currently, like I said, not many merchants are using this, and we really suggest if you would like to try, we can share how this invoices needs to be created, and we can reach out to the customers, and we as a bank, we are also promoting this technology to really make the payments from the customer's perspective much smoother and faster. Beside the fast SEPA payments, we are also talking about one very interesting innovation which is not coming from us as a bank itself, but this is more organized by the Bank of Latvia. Bank of Latvia and at the same time Bank of Lithuania and Bank of Estonia are planning to introduce this summer the register where you can register your IBAN account number against your mobile number. And this is actually allowing us to give the possibility to every customer, including the companies, also to just select the contact from your phone book, and all the other information is gathered from this centralized register. And like I said, this summer, this interesting stuff is coming out, and customers will be able to start testing it. So, but what else is happening in e-commerce? And maybe I will not give like immediate disclosure about who is doing what, but we clearly see that there is happening a lot of innovation at the checkout for the e-commerce companies. And we see that really all the designers and UX designers in particular are trying to make the abandonment rate of the carts as little as possible. So besides these UX innovations where you can really skip a lot of different steps reaching out the checkout pass, there is also like two interesting aspects which are coming more and more into our daily life. One is possibility for the end user to pay only at the moment when the goods are delivered. So there is like more interesting the chain of the money flow, as a merchant is actually getting money ahead of time, but the customer is paying later. And also, of course, the possibility for customer to select possibility and do the split of the payments right away. And this could be happening not just in e-commerce systems, but we see that this trend is also going to happen in shops as well. So again, these technologies are available, and together with some of the partners, we are really working on these things. Last but not least, I wanted to mention that besides maybe local players, there are also going to be changes driven by the MasterCard and Visa itself. So around the end of this year, there will be introduced the MasterPass 2.0 system. And the idea is that there is like separate application provided by both Visa and MasterCard, where end user or customer can just upload his card data, put the token inside the phone application, and by doing that, Visa and MasterCard is also going to significantly reduce the number of steps needed for the checkouts, and there will be no need in these situations for 3D secure payments and so on. So basically, this is also happening on the same time. Okay, talking about the key takeaways, what I would like you all to remember from my very short presentation. So, future really will bring much more personalized services, and we as a bank, we are going to really support these things, and we believe that there is really a lot of value inside the bank and all the big data which we keep about the customers are allowing us to give to them the best experience, the best shopping experience. And another thing actually future is already around us, and it is really important that you as dealers, distributors are following also what is happening with technology, and in technology in particular in financial area, so you are changing with these trends as well. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Maybe you are having some questions. Okay. Okay, so I think that invoice scanning is something which is really parallel to the electronic invoices. So yes, there is possibility for the customer to already put a routine and start doing the payments with these electronic invoices. However, we see that people and also the companies, they want to keep the track on the button when they are pressing and accepting the payment. And also in life, there is different scenarios. So I think that these two technologies are going to be in parallel, and there is really user scenarios and user flows for both. Any more questions?
How can you guarantee a safety of contactless payments?
Okay. So the question was, how can we guarantee the payments of contactless payment itself? So there is like several layers of security. One is that basically the customer has always possibility to turn these payments off and on as he wishes through the mobile application or through the internet bank. And second, there is limitations with amounts, but I think the answer you are looking for is that actually bank guarantees that all the transactions will be executed and according to the customer requirements. Yes, there are, of course, also the potential frauds happening in these situations, but there is really like a lot of different risk management systems which allows us to prevent these things. And in particular, if you are referring to those famous videos where somebody in a transport is just going around and using the POS, taking the money away from the people, this is actually not possible in real life scenarios, because we are looking where the transactions are happening, and also there is like significant influence now of the behavioral analysis, and not just on a customer side, but also on the merchant side. So as we are doing the due diligence and we know exactly what is happening with the customer and also with the merchant is also not going to risk with his potential contract with bank, and there is also safety deposit, as you might know, from the merchants who are doing also the e-commerce with the banks, that actually works as a prevention mechanism for such kind of fraudful transactions. Okay. My opinion about Revolut services. I'm also a Revolut user. That's not a secret, and I'm having some really good friends working in Revolut. I think that Revolut is having a slightly different mission comparing us as a local bank, and clearly they are the services which are like necessary for like average customer, but if you want to really go with proper, let's say, full spectrum of the services, you need the entity which is located here in the Baltics. That's first. Second, I think that if we are looking at our mobile application and comparing it feature by feature with Revolut, I wouldn't say that we are lacking much behind. There are even some of the functionalities. I can just give an example. For example, change the PIN code inside for your payment card. You cannot do this inside in Revolut currently. You can do it in Citadele mobile application. If you are looking from the onboarding perspective, we are also the bank who allows to open account remotely, doing also the document scan and selfie. So you really need to go feature by feature, but in general, there is pros and cons like everywhere in life for our solution and for Revolut solution. The customer is actually the one who is deciding which ones are important for him or her to use. And I think that's actually is really a fantastic thing, because we want to compete, we want to create our product better and better, and otherwise we will be just probably stagnating and being on a, I don't know, maybe using still some very old technologies and old stuff. Okay. Talking about the transaction history, the answer is no. You don't need to keep all the transactions and probably you can start deleting them. But the idea is that to give really those personalized proposals and also understand what needs to be done with products or services, we need that information. That is the first thing. Second is that, of course, there is a legal environment, and all the financial services are licensed business. So these are coming from, you name it, European Union, US, and these changes are, of course, not really that pleasant. However, there is always, I say that as a pro or positive thing, that actually as we start to do more and more integration of different data sources, the necessity for you as a customer to fill all that data becomes less and less. And of course, what is also important for the merchants and what, for example, I myself have seen working in a bank is that you need to keep looking with whom you are working and from where the money comes. If you know that there is restrictions of selling goods to Iran or to North Korea, then don't try to do these sales, because this immediately goes on the radars, and you will really see the consequences, and banks are just immediately prohibited to continue business with any of such customers. But I think that as we are kind of moving more and more into the digital, and if we are also looking at the next generations, the necessity of hiding something also becomes less. And the idea is that if you are really doing transparent business, this is just another layer to prevent the grey business. Any more questions? All right. Thank you all.